Hello and welcome back to the Book of Scrim. My name is Martin Heron and I'm a practicing artist, and I have been working as an artist for I don't know, longer than I can remember, at least 30 years. Okay, so another random sketchbook pulled off the shelf. This time it's a handmade sketchbook which was gifted to me, and I started really falling in love with using these sketchbooks. I really like the handmade books. So this book, which was started back in 2021, so a few years ago now. Now this is how I used to stain the scrim. This page here, I used to put the pieces of scrim down, and as you probably know from previous videos, if you've caught them, this is the scrim is also known as jointing tape, and it's basically a fiberglass tape that's used in the building trade for plasterboard walls, reinforcing the joints. So I thought it'd make a great material to work with, because it's adhesive on one side, and I found that I could sort of start and work with it and stain it, etc. So this was a starting point in the sketchbook. So yes, I would stick it down here, and with various marker pens or paint or ink or whatever, I would stain the scrim so I could get various colours on the surface. So a lot of it is just very quick little kind of attempts at trying out different things. Here I'd have the scrim, then I'd cut a really like perfect circle out, and then distort that and subvert it in some way. So I'll do that with different shapes throughout, and again playing with the illusion that there's some sort of three-dimensional thing happening with it. So clearly here I've used different pens, different colours to kind of create this sort of stripe effect across it, and then rework it. And obviously some of the cutouts from some of the pieces get reused to try and form other images. So you'll see a lot of these will turn up and be reformed into this sort of thing. I quite like doing this. I quite like reusing the material and using as much of it as possible in the work. But sketchbooks are great for allowing me just to kind of play with the material. Now here I've just stuck to purely scrim. Previous sketchbooks you'll see before and after this, I will combine other materials, you know, other different tips and different surface treatments, etc. But I did sort of go through phases where I just focus purely on the scrim itself. That sound you hear is a little bit of sticky residue still on the outside of the scrim, and that's why it leaves these sort of marks here. But it's quite an interesting size sketchbook. It's very easy to carry around, not very heavy. It's just when it starts to bulk out and you get so many layers down on, it gets a bit more difficult to handle, but a nice size to work on. So yeah, I think it's quite obvious that there's a number of layers here, and the circle has been taken out of one of those, and then laid in there and then covered again. So different, what's really nice about it is it allows all the colours to come through, and so it has a creates really got a nice sense of depth. There's quite a few layers of scrim in here. I think there's about 4, maybe 5 layers of scrim on this piece. So some work better than others. This one here just feels a little bit messy and not quite kind of right, but at least with a sketchbook you can kind of work that out and allow it to happen and then move on to the next. So yellow, using yellow is quite interesting actually, because it picks up all sorts of other bits of colour and stuff, and it's very easily dirtied a little bit, but I quite like this in this one. But you can see some of the stain from previous scrim, or even it will be on my fingers, or from previous colouring. It's left little bits of stain in the background. I see him here. It was quite nice. So we're now into what, July 21. So this is obviously over a period of months that this will take place. I do like these wavy pieces, but they've all got their merits, all got their pros and cons. But at the end of the day, I'm actually exploring the material, using the medium as much as I can. I'm not trying to say anything. There's no sort of big message within this work. It is purely about losing yourself in the process of working with a particular material and seeing how far you can push it, what you can do with it. So obviously a bit of time has passed, because now we're on the 4th of the 11th, that'll be November 21. So probably a break taken while I worked on other things and then come back to it. So there we go. It's actually a piece of scrim laid down here that has some colour on it. So I no longer use the backs of the sketchbooks. I might have to do that in some, because it is quite an interesting effect. I tend to use glass now to lay the scrim down. But yes, that was 2021 in that really nice little handmade sketchbook. Well, thank you for watching. Hopefully you'll catch some of the other videos, and I will see you again.